listening to the Batman Universe Commentaries, brought to you by thebatmanuniverse.net. Join the staff of the Batman Universe as we watch another exciting incarnation of the Caped Crusader from his extensive media library.
Welcome back to the Batman Universe Commentaries, where we are continuing commentating on episodes from Batman the Animated Series. This is his 25th anniversary year after all. My name is Donovan, and rejoining me, as the last few times, is Mr. Josh.
Whoa!
Clearly he survived his onslaught of hurricanes from the last epic commentary.
Mother Nature 0, Bertoni 59.
Excellent. So for this commentary, we are going to be talking about the episode Bane, the Epidanos titled episode, premiering one of Batman's. I would argue that like the Venom to Batman's Spider-Man, in that he's like a rare villain that kind of stays popular despite not being from the original Rose Gallery. And this episode came out on the heels of Nightfall in the comics. So this episode came out like 94 or 95.
It says September 1994 on the wiki, which may or may not be right, but I'm wondering like if Knight's Quest and Knight's End were still going on then. Like I'm actually looking this up now.
Nightfall was like 93 to 95, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, from the start of like the Bane arc to like the Asbat stuff.
So in September 1994, one of the cover images that I see is like Superman surrounded by like all those different versions of Batman from 0 Hour. So it looks like Night Quest ended like 5 minutes ago.
That sounds about right, because generally the animated series would be pretty timeless. They would just kind of do the rogues, and they would do other comic book villains like Man-Bat and Hugo Strange. I do remember like seeing requests for Bane when the show came out, because obviously like, when the show came out, Superman was dying in the comics and stuff, and Nightfall was pretty soon in the middle of the production. And I don't know exactly why because I feel that like they had at first calls to do Bane, they said no, but of course they did it before the series ended. And there was this old timey, like I say old timey, but in the 90s there was this sort of like comic book series or show where they would have like interviews with like image creators and stuff. It was very early 90s, and I saw this a few months ago where like they interviewed Bruce Timm and said, okay, in this season it's going to be Batman and Robin because Fox wants to put Robin in every episode despite our protestations, and we're going to be doing Bane, but Fox says we can't have him be called an assassin. We just have to kind of allude to it. So clearly their hands are tied with this episode, but
well, as it would be, it was Fox Kid, just like how like Carnage, like instead of like murdering people on Spider-Man, he like sucked the life force out of them because of Dormammu.
Yeah, despite allusions to it, yeah. So they do Bane in this, voiced by Henry Silva, and I mean I said it before on various podcasts, but you know I never know who's listening to this. That like Nightfall is my personal favorite Batman crossover. Bane's one of my favorite villains. He's not my favorite villain, but he's one of them. For that reason, and just kind of briefly get into the episode. I really like how they portray him in terms of the voice actor is perfect. I really love the voice actor, and I think generally there are definitely like beats that will kind of spell out that echo the Nightfall story that we'll bring up when they come up. But I like this episode. What do you think, Josh?
I don't have a lot of memory of this episode. I don't think I've seen it in like maybe over a decade. This episode, and I remember the Nightfall homage scene to "I Will Break You," which we'll talk about more when they get to it. I remember Robin being in a pool, I think tied to a chair, and that's about it. I'm sure that some of it will come back to me as I'm watching this, and I'm sure that like the last like few commentaries that we've done, I've like revealed at the end like, what? I remember that being awesome, but that wasn't so. That didn't make sense. Like I ruined like the Gray Ghost and like Tim Drake's origin, so. Let's see if I ruin Bane.
Well, I should also want to say, like, in addition to Shadow the Bat two-parter, and maybe one other episode, this is like one of the very, very, very few episodes of Batman the Animated Series that I remember airing when it first came out. Now I am, I was like barely in grade school. I was of a certain age where like I was a little toddler when the series started. So when it ended, I was like in kindergarten or whatever. But it was before I even moved to Nashville, where I've been living for most of my life. And I remember seeing this episode when it first came out, specifically the ending. And I'll talk about that later on. But I have memories of seeing this for the first time and having a reaction to this. And yeah, those are our intro thoughts. So without further ado, let's get into it. We are paused at 00 in the 21 minutes and 10 seconds time length of the episode. And on a count of three, we shall start the episode Bane. 3, 2, 1, play.
I never know which intro we're gonna get.
Oh, it's the Animated Series one, or it's the Batman and Robin one. I like this intro.
Yeah, I don't see this one a lot. This one kind of gets forgotten.
Again, in the DVDs, you have the option to see this one. Although there was a third intro they did for the final few episodes that I hardly ever see ever. I don't think those are even on the DVD. Like it shows Catwoman and stuff, and I think you can see that on YouTube.
I recognize some of these clips from Robin's Reckoning.
Yeah, most of them are from Robin's Reckoning.
Yeah, that one was from. Yeah, that one's Robin's Reckoning without the oval.
That's
this
Demon's
is Demon's Quest. It was close. We almost fell into the Lazarus pit, where we'll be absolutely fine.
That should have been.
Well, oh yeah, there's Barbara Gordon like hiding in the background, like I'm in this intro too.
That's awesome.
He goes through like the Kool-Aid Man.
Awesome.
Oh,
That's
good.
Well, yeah. This
episode was driven by Karen Atari.
We're now in the era where like Bane's voice is like something that we just make fun of Tom Hardy's thing, like how you do Batman's voice and Gordon's voice. But I mean, whenever I read Bane in the comics, it's one of those because this happens with most of the characters in the animated series. But I hear this voiced by actor Henry Silva.
Oh yeah, I never hear Tom Hardy when I read Nightfall, just because like they look so visually different.
Right.
The plane says Gotham on it.
This looks like something on Casablanca. Everybody's dressed a certain way.
Whoa, they really did Bane differently. Oh yes, he's wearing the mask.
I do remember also saying that like their approach to him was sort of because he was Hispanic in the comics, a type of luchador aesthetic. Because the mask, they gave him a visible lips in the mask.
He's a giant. He's gonna break the car. Worst Uber passenger ever.
He's the Rhino.
1 star. What shuttle?
That's nice.
Ooh. Yeah, he's not cheap Swenson.
That's right. Yeah, he has his. Did Bane have red eyes in the comics? Yeah, he did have red eyes in his mask in the comics.
Rupert Thorne and Bane being in the same episode feels weird because they're both from like different eras. So
right.
They're not weird in a bad way, but just like, oh yeah, that's right.
I never thought about it that way, but yeah, because there wasn't really any crime bosses in Night. Well, there was Tough Tony Baresi, but he was.
Well, like Rupert Thorne's like a Bronze Age villain.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever popped up.
It reminds me of the Kingpin. He's like beating up his underlings in a gym.
Bong.
He wishes he was Wilson Fisk. Whoa.
The smuggling bust.
Bane loves diamonds.
Oh, crap.
Bane, that was not necessary.
I remember this. People go on about how the DC films are like all so sexualized these days when like they're very much like hinting like an affair between him and Candace in this episode. This is I mean, we're going to get into it, but like Killer Croc did feature
just like Nightfall.
Yeah. kicking Killer Croc's ass.
Candace is like amused by all this.
I think this is the only time in the animated series where Killer Croc is actually like a gang lord, like he started out being. Because usually he's just this kind of, oversized beast.
Yeah, I don't like what's been done with Killer Croc the last, 10, 15 years.
This is hilarious. He's like Raphael from the Turtles.
It's him! Yeah, I was just thinking like the Ninja Turtles, that whenever they wear a trench coat, no one knows it's them.
But this is the only time, I believe, maybe even ever in animation where Bane is like, or where Croc is actually like a crook, like he started out in his origin story.
It was nice of Tim Burton to let them reuse the set from Ace Chemicals in Batman '89.
Shoot to kill, if you know what I mean.
We've been routed out, boys. Attention! No one is to. What was it like? I want Killer Croc alive. Anyone who doesn't has to answer to me.
What are you doing here, Gordon?
Just take it with us.
They'll fit in the car.
Uh-oh.
A bat bomb?
Screw this. Whoop, 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 whoop. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. For those who don't get that little musical joke, that was a Donkey Kong arcade game.
It did slip me by. I was always more of a Sonic man.
I bet you are. He left his trench coat behind.
That's a good line.
Oh, yeah. I am Bird.
Yeah, poor choice of words.
Where's that light coming from? Like behind Bane? Oh,
the comic book that he's in. That's cool. That's cool.
That's right. When we saw his full size before in the car, he's even bigger.
It's also the Fox Kids episode, so that he can't be nearly as brutally violent as a comic. So you don't see him pulping Croc.
Look what Baby Doll did to him.
He broke his arms in both the comics, and I think he also broke his arms in this.
It looked like Killer Croc was raising out for a second. Well, he's Red Bane Conquest.
My God.
Jason Todd stole the tires.
That's awesome.
Whoa, look at those fingers. They're like the size of Batman's chin.
I have a feeling, and I think it's referenced in the commentary for Over the Edge, that they didn't really care for Bane as a character in the production team. They kind of thought that he was one of those.
I read that on the DC Wikia, which you don't know how. Holy heck!
I like the fact he's in Blackgate and not Arkham because he's not insane.
Stonegate.
Yeah, Stonegate. That's right.
Same thing.
Yeah. I don't know when Blackgate was created, but yeah, it serves the same purpose. I like Batman having fun with Croc and
what a sycophant.
Kind of kind of torturing him, but he's I don't know. There's this rapport that they have, which is kind of nice. You'll know hard, Bats. Are you coming on to me?
I don't know. Should I?
There's Damon Wayans from Batman Returns working on the Batmobile.
No shit, Alfred.
That's a good quip. You mess up my car between a couple of guys. That's real personal. Did they mention Santa Prisca? Peñadoro, sweet.
Peñadoro.
Awesome.
Well, it was a prison experiment. Could that have been Bane?
I don't know.
Shut up, Alfred.
Well, the children might not know.
Alfred's a show. Destroy. Destroy.
Crush. Kill. Destroy. Oh,
Must.
Children, he's killing me. Yeah!
Well, they do say assassin.
Oh, okay. And Bruce Timm lied again.
Maybe they can only say it once.
Right.
He makes people become John Does. That means they're not coming back.
the pain in hand.
Alfred's been holding that in. Thorn Enterprises. And who could forget the Thorn Foundation?
Thorn Aerospace.
And Thorn's like ex-fiance who dumped him because he didn't start the Thorn Foundation yet. Like, oh, Thorn, when are you going to get a job? Sorry, honey. But like,
where are we going with this?
But being a playboy is for me. Little does she know that I'm secretly a mob boss.
Candace, what are you doing?
Bane.
Clearly.
It's like Alicia and Jack Napier all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the skies are already red.
I realize that, like, it's cool that they did that because I can never tell what time of the day, a night it is. It's like, is it midnight? Is it sundown? Is it dawn? I remember this.
Yes.
This is also like the Croc issue because like in the Croc issue where Bane beats up Croc, like he had actually taken Robin, who's dressed like Dick is right now, and Dick was tailing Bane, I believe.
Do 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 do. Okay, that was fast.
Spider-Man.
Like, wasn't he just across the street like 10 seconds ago?
It's over before it begins. I've seen this episode way too much.
I mean, even if he drops Robin, he can throw a bat line. Ooh. I would guess.
We'll find Josh. You write the episode next time.
See? Oh, he's okay. Maybe I will. Bane can teleport.
You'll never find me here.
Good strategy, Robin.
Ah!
Sucker. It's like the raptors in Jurassic Park.
Remember when I was a kid, I always thought these people just died on screen.
Death of the Family with Batman's place being taken by Bane. His post is cold. He's dead.
He doesn't like turn him into soup and eat him.
Tonight I dine on Robin soup.
It's just like a little airline shirt kind of thing. Boyfriend, yes. So it's confirmed they've been having sex. I needed to know that.
She could care less about Batman being there. She's like laying down watching TV.
This is cool. We're at Common Sniper. You never reach the phone. Oh, snap.
Undressed. Whoa. Okay, was that...
He threw that out the window like Jack Drake threw out television.
And then, like, somebody's downstairs, and, like, that ottoman's gonna hit them.
It's kind of similar to how Joker did Tim Drake's uniform in
Where's the World's Thorn?
Wharves, the Rose's Thorn. Wharves, Wharves was like some sort of seaport. I'm not sure specifically what
Of course. It happened at sea. Sea for Catwoman.
C for Bane. What?
Maybe he should have trailed her. Is she going to tickle him?
You can sort of see his own armpit hair. This is awfully sexual.
I want his mask. Of course, you're Dick Grayson. I'd recognize you anywhere.
Probably in the same class. I don't know. She reminds me of Alicia Silvermane.
Yeah, me too. I mean, granted, Dick Grayson isn't like a nobody. Like, he's not really that big of a somebody out there. But I mean, I'm sure that like some of the Gotham elite might recognize him from their days with the Waynes.
He's a better chance of being recognized than he doesn't, but he's not automatic.
He has a better chance of being recognized in Gotham by like
Gotham, yeah.
By the 1%. The 1% in Gotham would recognize him, but you know, I don't know if that would apply to Candace. Thank you, Bane. How polite.
Okay, now this is the thing where, like, okay, so he's about to fight Bane. And, of course, this is like a 20-minute, like, you know, exercise and, like, getting the character on screen. Does it bother you at all that they didn't do, like, the whole Nightfall, breaking Arkham Asylum and having them fight all everybody and wear him down a bit?
That is a loaded question that I have to think about, like, a lot. I mean, but on the surface, no, it doesn't bother me because, like, you know, Bane is more than just the story of Nightfall.
Tis true, although what a story.
And, like, what was the alternative? Like, I would not have been happy if they condensed Nightfall to, like, a 20-minute episode. It would have had to have been, like, you know, maybe, like, a 3 or 4-parter at the most.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think that, like, it could have... Because they did a 2-parter when they introduced Ra's al Ghul. I'm not necessarily complaining myself, but it is... It's almost like a cameo from Bane in an episode rather than, like... doing him justice, but I don't know. I mean, I like him in this episode. Nice.
No, the Venom. I remember that's later though.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Coward.
No.
Looks like Bane rockets blasting off again, or splashing off again. No, Batman. We can talk about this.
Wait, boss.
No, I have to take Killer Croc.
I remember that shot was in the commercials a lot.
Don't worry about her. Yeah, I was about to say, like, yeah, like...
This seems like a video game level. Untie Robin before it's too late.
Press X, X, B, D, C.
When he's underwater, he's running in the air. It's like Sonic. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Batman, catch the air bubble.
Excellent. You know, I can see the water.
Oh, Dick, it's barely reached you yet. Oh, then again, the weight being on him, that's straining him.
Yeah. Otherwise, he'd sit up there.
Boyfriend, you're alive and wet.
He's bit. I like this, but you don't even see his. Uh-oh. Hey. I remember this.
After Batman and Harley Quinn, this takes on a different context.
I know. He just slaps him.
I feel that, like, because of what we saw with the car and everything, like, the stakes are real.
Yeah, there's there's tension in this episode. I think it's muted by it being so fast, but that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But
I have a hard time thinking that she could take Dick Grayson in a fight, but okay, I'll go along with it.
I like this. I think that, like, I don't think that, like, they captured the full potential of Bane in this, but I think that, like, what it is still pretty good. Like, he's a real presence in this show. Oh, yeah, here we go. Big scene.
Go to Hades' house.
Yeah, that's right out of the comics, the dialogue. Well, except for Batman.
I remember one of my friends from like middle school was like, "Is he gonna do it? Wow, no, the Venom."
Now this, I saw this live in '94. Like I genuinely thought he was going to die. His head was going to just blow off his body.
Oompa loompa doopity dane. We have a problem with Bane.
That's awesome. I actually think this is kind of more like this is awesome. Look at that.
Batman could have killed him.
The comics didn't do that. Like that. I think that's actually a really cool like alternative. But it also kind of like makes it. Batman almost easily takes him out, and it kind of makes him look like, like the real Batman would have no trouble fighting him. Like there is some sort of like subtextual commentary that I feel is in this episode, but whatever.
Yeah, I always took it. I know where she's. I always took it as that like it's a cartoon, so like obviously not going to have. And it's not like the way that like Batman defeats him is with like some Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, like the Morin gun. that didn't work. Yeah, but he like rips off his mask. They in the anime comics, Bane's appearance in the anime comics and the Batman and Robin adventures was directly after this scene. Like Thorne's men takes him out to like the alley to get him killed, and Candace is just like kind of just watching, and she like doesn't even care. Oh snap!
When did they say that?
Oh, they said that in before Rupert came into the room that you're here late, Candace. And like Robin was like watching them and recording them.
For some reason I missed it, but yeah. So Batman potentially leaves her to die. He's like, Candace, he's gonna give her a nice talking to, and then like all of a sudden he hears like a gunshot.
He says in the comic, because I have the issues.
Maybe that's why we don't see her again until Batman and Harley Quinn.
He says in the comic, "You're too pretty to kill, Candace, but this I can't ignore." And so he like says, "Make her watch, kill her boyfriend and make her watch." And of course she doesn't mind like them working on Bane. So what are our thoughts on Bane from the animated series?
That was fun. Yeah, like I said, I don't mind the defeat because like Batman did defeat him in like a legitimate way that like makes sense given like Bane's like they didn't change anything about Bane from the comic to like make him defeated. Like everyone knows that Bane's weakness is tacos, and when Batman like waves tacos, like
that'd be racist.
Yeah. I wasn't even meaning to be racist. I just was like thinking of like a random food that people like, and like I could have just as easily said like spaghetti or like lasagna.
The Batmobile
like,
shows up like redone as a taco cart.
Are you sure this will work, Batman? Patience, Robin.
We would have never. The anime series would live that down. Like screw the Emmys. The bizarre final episode of the anime series.
Yeah, no, but and I remember thinking like, wow, this is cool, like they have Bane, who's like a new character from the comics, because like Bane was still relatively new, and and they're referencing Nightfall, which is like a recent story, so like that felt nice, and when I was younger, like some of it was coming back to me, like I do remember like more of that Robin pool fight and stuff, and I actually do remember like that ending with like Rupert Thorne about to kill Candace as Batman walks away, but I never got that, like, wait a second, like, she's in serious trouble. I just thought, oh boy, is she embarrassed now? Like,
Batman's like, well, my work is done here.
I'm sure it's only a matter of time. Like,
it's funny, like, seeing him, like, just kind of just walk out of a room and down the hall.
Honestly, my biggest problem with this episode is, as badass as it is, I think that Batman torturing Killer Croc that way is like a bit much. Like those are broken bones. Like Batman's not the Punisher.
I've actually been thinking about that of late. Not that scene particularly, but whenever Batman like scares somebody, like there are ways. I don't ever want him to kind of hurt people. I thought that was kind of fine because it was kind of jerky intimidation. But you don't want him to hurt somebody because it's straight up torture. But I think that like that way was just kind of.
I mean, he hurts people and like he'll like punch them, but this is like a guy with broken bones. Like, this is, like, cold-blooded.
I think the way it was done was kind of... It wasn't, like, him, like, with a hammer. And he was like, are you sure you don't want to tell me? And, like, kind of goading him into it. I think generally you're right, but I think it was played off fairly nice.
It is a line, but, like, he didn't cross it so blatantly that, like, that it took me out of the episode. It was just like, oh, I don't know about this, but,
He didn't brand them because he's not an asshole.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but
Neither was I until now.
He brands Killer Croc.
Well, my thoughts are, I was interrogating its fidelity to Nightfall, which it shouldn't have because it's an adaptation of a character, not the story. But I do like this episode.
Yeah, and I think you could do Bane without Night. I wouldn't want the comics to retcon Nightfall, but if you're introducing Bane in a new story like this or like a different animated series, like it doesn't have to be Nightfall. Because Bane is, larger than that story. But, that being said, that story is a big part of who he is. I wouldn't want that story removed from his history. But, when you're dealing with, the format of a Fox Kids show, it would have had to have been, a 3-night event, when they did, the first appearance of Lord Zed and, the Dark Phoenix saga or something.
And, again, there were definite, ties to the comics, taking Robin, taking out Killer Croc, the dialogue. You have nothing begged for mercy. Spray my name. That's straight from the Breaking of the Bad issue. So, like we said with how they adapted Tim Drake, we were not in a position to bargain with getting adaptations.
We were not kids today who are we're getting into comic related media. They don't know how good they have it. It's good lord.
Yeah, friggin' right.
A few months ago, I was watching an episode of Supergirl, and there's one where it's it's her and Martian Manhunter flying, and he's not called the Strange Visitor or something like that. He's the Martian Manhunter, and he's in his classic costume, and I was this is on primetime network TV. They would have had this. And we've had most of the Robins animated in one form or another.
Damian, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake. And Carrie Kelly.
Mm-hmm. I'm counting Stephanie Brown. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, not sorry. I'm counting Stephanie Brown.
Now, she will be showing up in Young Justice Season 3, but not as Robin.
Yeah, well, didn't she have a cameo in the old Young Justice, too?
Yeah, she did. And she had a speaking cameo, too.
Yeah, yeah. And shout out to, I think you said it was Jason Ritter who requested on Twitter that we do this episode.
He did indeed. And we may do more of his requests. I saw a comment that he left over a year ago about a commentary, and I never saw it until then, so I feel bad about that. So hopefully this will alleviate him. But yeah, was it the comment? Was that the comment that he left? He left a commentary. He left a comment that I think something that Michael Bailey and I did.
Oh, but was that when he requested this, or did he request?
No, he requested this on Twitter today.
Okay, fast turnaround. Although you're probably not hearing it the day you requested it because we still have a few more episodes in the can that we're going to release. So
yeah, but it's as soon as we can.
the Hurricane Irma saga is not done in the commentaries feed yet. That storyline.
But no, I mean I like this. Do you have any thoughts on how they did Bane in the new Batman Adventures when they changed him to be this gimp-looking dude?
I mean, that's a weird new look for him, but to be honest, most of my memory from that is he was in the Dream episode, which was and it was good because they used him well there. That basically he was somebody who could best Batman in physical combat, and you could believe it. And
the final
he betrays Gordon, yeah. So that worked for me, and I remember. It was kind of played for laughs, but I do remember when Superman dresses as Batman, he fights Bane, and Bane's "What's impossible?"
That was awesome. You see Superman just work the body and everything like that. That was awesome.
That's a fun episode. We should probably do that one sometime because I remember Superman smiling and Mad Hatter is what the.
Oh man!
Yeah, but if you guys have any requests for episodes that we do, we're looking at you. Batmite episodes of the other show.
Burn the Bolt.
No. The Batmite episodes of what was that the Filmation show?
Oh
where,
God!
Batman...
Screw that show.
Yeah, that we have to do it. Or
no, we don't.
We should legitimately do.
We should do one just so I can scream.
Yeah, no, we should legitimately do. If it hasn't been done yet, I would check the feed to see if someone Dustin has done this. But the new Scooby Doo movies with Batman and Robin.
I think Stella did one of those. She did one of them with Joe Jinx on her Halloween episode.
Oh yeah. I see the DVD in Walmart sometimes where you have an Adam West-esque animated Batman on one side and Scooby on the other side, as if it was world's finest.
Thomas Mattis gave me one of those.
Oh, okay.
For reasons I don't necessarily recall. But yeah, So yeah, like as you said, if you have any thoughts on this or any other commentaries or requests for commentaries, leave them at on the comments section of the BatmanUniverse.net. So until the next episode, this is Don.
This is Josh.
And you've been listening to the commentaries, watching Batman the Animated Series. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Adios.